Hello everyone, ex-Bethelite here. Let's finish reading the email, the experience I got from the Bethelite here. And again, the number is 937-789-4029. I'll be reading this off of this tablet here. So let me get back to where we were. Again, I have made videos on another channel. That channel was Walk Hill Bethelite. If you look that up, there's some videos I made on that while I was dealing with some technical difficulties on this channel. So let's get started here. So after I hid my sheets that I had masturbated on, I was stressed out thinking that someone would find them, connect them to me. My housekeeper might connect them to me. I was thinking, oh man, is there some number on those sheets that could possibly connect my room and me to these sheets that I had ruined by ejaculating all over these sheets. So I was stressed out about that. And then I was also stressed out thinking, wow, maybe there's some way that they would find out that it was my computer that accessed pornography in that office room. So I'm just walking around paranoid, thinking they're going to find out. There's no way they're going to find out. Jehovah in his spirit is going to bring these things to the fore. So while I'm thinking that there's no way these things are not going to be found out, in an act of desperation, I called my cousins and I tell them, I say, I'm thinking about dating and getting married. And I asked them for help. I let them know I don't really have any single sisters in my congregation. And between me and the other Bethelites, there's mostly all guys at my congregation. And I asked if they knew anyone at the congregation that I had grown up in, or the congregation that them or one of their friends were attending. And I did not want them to speak to my parents about this, because my parents were very staunch that I would remain at Bethel for at least 5 or 6 years, and then I would get married. And they had it all planned out. After 5 or 6 years, I would get married, bring my wife in there to Bethel, and then continue my Bethel service there. But I did not think that I could wait that long. So I was shocked when I got a phone call back from my mother. Apparently my cousins had told my parents, and my mother said that she would help. This wasn't something for my cousins to do, but she would help. And lo and behold, she actually had a phone number for me. And she said, I would be surprised, I would be shocked when I find out who it is. And I kept asking her, who is it? Who is it? Of course, I'm very anxious to find out who it is. And I'm kind of excited, thinking, I don't have to struggle for as long as I thought that I would have to. I thought I would have 5 or 6 years before I could marry and remain at Bethel. And based off of what I had been involved in recently with the pornography, I thought that I have probably a week or so before Jehovah brings all these things to the fore. So I was very desperate to hurry and get married as soon as possible, and leave before Jehovah made it known what I was doing at Bethel. So I called the number, And lo and behold, I find out that this is indeed a single sister, but this is probably the one sister they knew that I had no intention on marrying. This sister was probably almost 300 pounds, and there was no attraction whatsoever. So in my mind, this is some kind of a ploy by my parents to make sure, not to stop in our reading, but I think something flew in my mouth here. Okay. My parents were trying to make sure that I didn't find someone and get married and leave Bethel by making sure that only sisters I wasn't interested in were the ones that they would direct my way. Well, fast forward here by about 3 years. 3 years go by, and I'm still trying to date, still trying to find someone, and I'm still viewing pornography and masturbating. But it's gotten to the point where I had been viewing the pornography for so long that I had to go to more and more extreme websites to get the same excitement that I got from originally looking at the pornography. Because eventually some of the old sites would just get old and they weren't that exciting anymore. So I would have to go to new sites, new things, try to find something different to get that same excitement, that same sexually charged energy that I had gotten before. And after years and years of viewing pornography and unsuccessfully dating at Bethel and wondering why I was still at Bethel to begin with. Why was Jehovah allowing me to remain at Bethel and continue to view pornography? 3 years this has been going on, and by that time I had pushed the thought of telling someone to the back of my mind. So one problem that I was having is, after years and years of the only sexual discharge that I had ever had, keep in mind I was a virgin, the only sexual discharge I had ever had for years was viewing the pictures of women with extremely large breasts, extremely large and nice shaped butt, and overall just a very, very perfect body. And I think that this affected me to the point where when I would meet a sister and begin to date her, I would just continue to I kept finding flaws with her physical appearance, to the point where after only 3 or 4 weeks, I wouldn't find her as physically attractive anymore. And I would think, I better find somebody else. I better keep looking. And that concept, that issue, which originally I did not know had anything to do with the pornography, but that issue kept me from being satisfied with anybody that I dated. So fast forward again, 5 years down the line. This is around the time where I'm supposed to now be getting married. And believe it or not, my parents actually did have somebody handpicked for me to marry. But again, the same issue with the pornography. the constant viewing of pornography. The only sexual discharge and excitement I would get was from viewing pornography and masturbating. And the excitement of the sneaking around and everything would add to it. So having a woman that did not look anything like the women that I viewed for years on the computer screen, and never having had sex before, never having the experience of actual physical contact in a sexual manner with another woman, or the thought of how that felt, or how exciting that would be, it made the pornography more exciting than the sisters that I happen to come across. Of course, there's women that are gorgeous that, of course, I would have married in a heartbeat. But some of the sisters that I talked to, there was nothing wrong with them. They were very nice sisters, but they just did not do anything for me sexually. I could talk to them on the phone for long periods of time, but and they were really nice, and some of them I thought might even make a really good wife. But how can I marry somebody that I'm not sexually excited by? So I ended up at Bethel 7 years, single, but viewing pornography, and it has affected my view of women. It has affected my spirituality to the point where it's very callous now. It doesn't feel like there's anything wrong with viewing pornography. If it was, why has Jehovah allowed me to be at Bethel and view pornography for a solid 7 years? I don't know if I'll ever get married now. I don't know if I'll ever find somebody who I'm satisfied with, now that I know that I can release all my sexual tension just by viewing pornography and not have any of the stresses of relationships and marriage. Not to mention the fact that I don't know what to do about the issue I have with hold on, the screen went blank here. I don't know what to do about the issue I have with the unclean thoughts that I have from viewing not just pornography, but increasingly more and more raunchy pornography in order to keep that excitement going. At this point, I don't really pray very much anymore. I haven't prayed much for probably the past 2 or 3 years. I can put together my assignments, my parts, without a problem. I don't even have to study before a meeting anymore. I don't know how long I'm going to remain here at Bethel. I don't have any money saved up, so I don't even know how I would leave and get reestablished. I don't really believe that this is Jehovah's organization. If it was, I don't know why I'm still here. But I'm serving as an elder, and I have to sit in on judicial hearings and condemn others for doing things similar to what I have been doing for the past 7 years here at Bethel. Hopefully my experience helps others, and hopefully more parents will stop sending their children to Bethel, ignoring their needs, and trying to force them to stay against what they want to do. I thank you for your videos and for reading my email. It's got his name there. We won't share that. So that's something else. That's something else. Super dark. That is cool looking there. But again, I don't know. I read that and thought that this person's spirituality is probably ruined. You know, this person he sounds so callous when he talked about being able to go over parts, read parts, sit in on a judicial hearing, condemns, others for doing, similar things that what he's doing, or maybe things that aren't even as bad. And it doesn't sound like it's an issue anymore after having done it for so many years. So hopefully the brother is able to get some help, because I think something like that, you'd have to have some counseling. If you've used pornography to the point where it has affected you that strongly, then I think maybe some counseling would be in order. Probably definitely getting out of the Bethel routine, because I know the Bethel routine is so busy. It's so nonstop busy that once you've gotten into a habit like that, it will be very difficult to break that habit, because you're dealing with things that are so routine. Everything you do at Bethel is routine. So you get involved in a habit that is that difficult to break, then leaving Bethel will probably be a good step. But again, the question is, how do you leave? How do you leave after you've been there for I don't know how old he is now, but after you've been there for close to 10 years and you don't have you about 10 years of savings that you have not saved up. So, it's a situation. There's some sister that is about to marry. More than likely there's some sister that will eventually marry him. And with the thought that she's marrying a Bethelite and an elder, and everything has got to be perfect, because these are people that Jehovah handpicks. Only to find out that there's somebody he's addicted to pornography. So hopefully he's able to get some help before he gets married, and then if he can't kick the habit, then it is twice as bad. It is twice as bad. So I'm about to head in. I'm getting eaten up by mosquitoes here. Ex-Walk Hill Bethelite Marcus, number 937-789-4029. Signing out.